It was not a dream. Jota has returned. But even though we've got a massive game in the Champions League tomorrow evening, we're away to Aston Villa. Celtic fans have to pick up tickets today for it, and that whole ticket thing is a complete nightmare. I'm glad I'm not going down. But the transfer window has been a massive transfer window as far as Celtic are concerned. It has been a massive one. Let me just double check this. Yeah, it has been a massive transfer window for Celtic. When you look at the players that have already left Celtic this window, Alexandro Bernabe, Odin, Stephen Welsh, Kyogo, that's 4 players. I don't think any of us sat at the beginning of the transfer window thinking that we would have got rid of 4 players so far. There's a potential for another 3 players to leave the club. That'll be 7 players in total. And I think we can all agree that the squad does not need shredded the way that it has been by Brendan Rodgers. And you can understand that some players will feel aggrieved that they're not getting game time. Players like Stephen Welsh, Odin, they're not getting anywhere near the team, so they're thinking it's maybe time to move on. A player like Lewis Palmer, who's in and around the squad and is on the bench, but he looks as if he's wanting away also. And then there's the Greg Taylor situation. Even if we do not get Kieran Tierney this window and Greg Taylor does leave, we still need a left back. And even if Greg Taylor then leaves in the summer, we are still in a position where we need another left back, which is bizarre. For all the years that we've been talking about we need a left back, and we're bringing back Kieran Tierney in the summer, and you just think, where are Celtic going wrong? Where are Celtic going wrong with the search for a capable left back to fill that void? That bringing Tierney back is obviously a good option, but we still need another left back. It's not guaranteed that Kieran Tierney can play 50 games a season, is it? And it's just a bizarre situation that Celtic find themselves going into the end of this window. Brendan Rodgers always talks about making the squad stronger. Now, as it stands, we've brought in Jota and we've allowed 3 players to leave. That's not making this. We've allowed 4 players to leave. That's not making the squad stronger. If anything, I think that currently, right now, the squad is kind of weaker. Will there be a mad rush? Will there be a mad rush for loan players to come in and fill some of the voids? Because let's face it, when it comes to the squad for the Champions League tomorrow evening, there's going to be a few shocks in that squad, and there's going to be a few younger players in the squad that are there through necessity, that are not there, and no disrespect to the younger guys that will come into the squad tomorrow, and not through there on merit. They will not be in the Champions League squad travelling down to Birmingham on merit. They'll be there as a necessity. They will be there as a necessity. But it is what it is, and Brendan Rodgers will try and... there's got to be something up his sleeve. Dave Morton, there has to be. When you look at it, the players that are potentially going to leave, if 7 players leave the club, you're looking at 7 players to come in, really. Or you're looking to take 7 players for the youth system and bring them into the first team squad. Went weaker. The only player that actually played in week in, week out was Kyogo's. The others were backup. Lanky, yeah, but that's fine. But you need the backup players. You've got to have those backup players. It's as simple as that. When we look at the squad, how many players do you want in Baz? I don't think it's not up to me to say how many we want in, it's how many we need. If we get an injury, right, to Adam Ida, we need 2 strikers in. We needed 1 striker in before we sold Kyogo. We now need 2 strikers. And we need 2 strikers in, and it's Cummins may start. But then there's the Cummins situation, Shay. There's the whole Cummins situation that he may leave at the end of the season. He may leave at the end of the season. He may leave in the next couple of days. He might be one of those players that Celtic sell. The squad depth is important, the amount of games we play. Exactly. And we seem to be weakening the squad. Brendan will bring in these players this week. Do you think they'll bring in Mateus? And if they do bring in this young guy, that's got 6 months left on his contract, he's not going to be a first team starter, is he? He's one for the future. All he's doing is filling the void that Stephen Welsh has left. And that's all he's doing. He's filling the void that Stephen Welsh has left. All I've got to say is get Taylor out now. What's your views on Trusty filling left back position? I don't think Trusty can fill the left back position. There's more chance of Liam Scales filling the left back position. But anyway, one of the strangest things about Kyogo leaving is they paid 10 million for Kyogo on a 2.5-year deal. That's madness. And that shows you that Kyogo does not... You're not jumping ship from Celtic where you're on a 4-year contract to then go to Rennes for a 2.5-year contract. You're not signing that kind of contract if... Lanky, that's fine saying we've got someone in the pipeline, but we still need 2 strikers. We needed 1 striker in before we sold Kyogo. And that's my point. We need 2 strikers in. Brendan Rodgers wanted 2 strikers in the summer. We never got those 2 strikers in the summer. Unless there's a massive turnaround with the fact that Daniel Cummins signs a contract in the next... I mean, we've been saying that for ages. Daniel Cummins isn't signing a contract. And Brendan Rodgers would then use Daniel Cummins as a first-team striker. Tell me a better left back in Scotland than Greg Taylor, says Jim. I hope Tuesday is like yesterday. And I can't see any incomings happening today. I think that it's too close. I have said, you're spot on about 2 strikers. It's what we need to bring in. Exactly. I still think that the majority of our transfer business will happen from Thursday onwards. Once we get the Champions League game out the way, and I think that was always the plan. It was always the plan until Kyogo threw his thumb out his pram and said, I want to leave. Nobody expected that, and I think that Brendan Rodgers obviously known it. But when you look at the players, the 3 players that still might leave, obviously we've got Lewis Palmer, right? You're saying fine. We've got in, we do have in the player that Lewis Palmer was brought in to replace, funnily enough, which was the one and only Jota. You've then got Greg Taylor's situation. If he goes in this window, and even if we do manage to bring in Kieran Tierney, it's not guaranteed that he can play every game till the end of the season. Can he go from being a bit part player to playing the hectic schedule that Scottish football has, and the intensity and the physicality? Can Tierney keep up with that to the end of the season? That's a big ask if we're still trying to get him on loan. And it shows you the panic stations that Celtic are at when we're trying to get him on loan. Why not just pay the money and get him in? But we still need another left back. Because if that situation then happens, and there's still the possibility that we could lose Alex Bailly in this window. There's still that possibility. I mean, Celtic could end the Alex Bailly contract situation within the next 2 or 3 days. He's a player that's bound to be sitting. Can't wait till the window closes, so that I know that if I'm going to be staying here in Scotland to the end of the season, or if I'm going to have to go back to Spain to then jump on a flight to head out to Italy. And then you've got big Mark Nabrowski. When you look at the Greg Taylor situation, we'll look at that first. Greg Taylor said in the summer, Taylor revealed that there'd been no progress, but he was still waiting to discover if he'll remain at the club beyond the summer. When asked if a new deal was in the pipeline, Taylor said, no, nothing. We'll see what happens. Honestly, I don't know. I've got 10 months left at that point, and it's football, it's business. You understand that, and you're part of it. So I'm sure that things will eventually work themselves out. That was 10 months ago that Greg Taylor said that. He said then, it's not on my mind. It's not at the forefront. I wonder if people would ask him the same question now, if anyone gets the opportunity. Because I don't think that Greg Taylor will be getting put up for any talks to the media this week, that's for sure, not with the transfer window still open. And he said, I've got 10 months left. You know you're in a situation, so we'll just see what happens. We'll just see what happens. Taylor arrived in a 3 million capture in 2019, and so far he's picked up, I think it's 10 major honours, and he's clocked up over 200 appearances. He's insisted that he still has the best years ahead of him. As Taylor says, I've loved my time here. He said, it's been an amazing part of my career in terms of winning a lot of trophies and playing games. I've worked under some unbelievable managers, the current one included. I'm so grateful for the experience it has been. It's one I'll never take for granted, said Greg Taylor. Has he peaked? He said, not at that point. I'm 26 at that point. This was 10 months ago. I'm at an age where I want to be playing regular football. Well, he is playing week in, week out. I want to be competing for trophies. Well, if you leave Celtic, Greg, you're competing for no trophies. And he says that at that point, he says, hopefully there's a lot of enjoyable years to come at Celtic. There has to be some weird situation going on with that. Anyway, the fact that we've lost Alexandro Bernabe, Stephen Welsh, Odom Ohm and Kyogo already. Nobody's really talking about the fact that this squad, and Brendan Rodgers has been a big advocate of squad rotation over the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, and it's a situation where I think that the squad is actually being made little. Do a vote, see who wants Taylor to stay. Oh, you are absolutely. Great, Taylor to stay. There you go. You get your wish. There's 200 there's 220 odd people on right now. There's the poll. Do you want Greg Taylor to stay? Oh Jesus. Anyway, Boy for Benny offer says, pay Taylor the money. I think we should still be looking for a quality centre back. Competition for Trusty and Scales. Well, we've been looking at a centre-back. Anthony Joseph spoke again about Celtic and a number of clubs in Europe interested in the Odinese centre-back Tobias Slotstagger. The under-21 Denmark international, another Danish under-21. It's understood that initial talks have taken place with his representatives, but I'm going to put a picture of this guy up, and he's not exactly a big bully of a guy. He's not exactly a big bully of a guy, to say the least. And image. I think that Celtic need to be looking for a bigger, powerful. He looks a bit. To me, this isn't the guy that sorts out our defence. That is not the guy. This is not the guy. I don't care what anybody says. But this is not the guy that sorts out Celtic's defence. Not in a month of Sundays. Not in a month of Sundays. Are you trying to tell me that he's better than Stephen Welsh? He's got more physicality than Stephen Welsh. He looks at the SPFL. There's too many 6 foot odd, bigger, bulkier strikers and defenders that will knock that wee guy on his arse. He looks thinner than Kyogo. Come on, he looks thinner than Kyogo. He looks about 12. I don't know how old that picture is, but I mean, he's not a big strapping lad. And when we think of good defenders at Celtic, I mean, you think about Bobo Baldi. You know, you think about, looks like a bairn. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not judging a book by its cover, but I'm on about, if Brendan Rodgers talks about physicality, is that physicality to you? Does that scream out physicality? What's with the adverts during the live? There isn't adverts. Oh, wait a minute. How's that on? YouTube have changed something. How do I switch that off then? 2 seconds. Apologies, but YouTube's changed something. Many clubs are after him. Yeah, many clubs are after him, but the fact... Give me 2 seconds. I don't know. YouTube's changed something in the settings. Studio. because it's nothing that I would have switched on. Tell me they've now changed it so that you've got to switch it off. Analytics, monetization. Choose mid-rolls. There we go. I choose the mid-roll. Insert manually. Interesting that YouTube have changed the setting. So they automatically put them in. YouTube are getting greedy, aren't they? Anyway, that should be them off now. Apologies for that. I never seen that. Usually it's automatic. Anyway, Bobo was a beast. He was, and you want to. I mean, I know it's the modern game, and you want defenders to have pace, and that's fine and dandy. But when it comes to the likes of corners and stuff in Scottish football, do you really think that this guy? I mean, he's one for the future. And that's why Celtic are obviously going for him. But then what does it say again? I mean, if we're going in and bringing a young under-21 into Celtic and we're going to pay good money for him, and we're allowing players to slip through the net from the B team, we're then back into the conversation. What's the point of the B team? Because we're not bringing people through the academy. We've just spent 20 odd million on a training facility for the academy. And you're not telling me DeepSeek. I've not been on that website yet, funnily enough, but the Americans are all going mental about it. Seen recently that people are paying for ad-free viewing and getting ad-free viewing. There we go. Anyway, someone asked the question, I can't remember who asked the question, it said, do a poll whether people want Greg Taylor to stay, and 72% are saying no, which is, it's weird, because is it Greg Taylor that's pushing to get more money, or is it his agent? I mean, surely Brendan Rodgers has 6 p.m. news conference today. I don't think it'll be 6 p.m. It'll be before 6 p.m. because it's Champions League news conference day. So it'll be before 6 p.m. I would have thought. The boy's 19, says Paddy Burns. Exactly, he's 19. 19. What does that say for... I mean, it's all fine and well Celtic bringing in younger players, and we've done it over the past couple of seasons, but look at those players now, they're not good enough. And it doesn't give... Our academy players say... It's not giving them the motivation, you know, and then we're turning around and saying, right, look at the amount of... It must put doubts into the academy players. It must put doubts into the academy players when they're not getting the money that they think they're worth. And then some little 19-year-old comes in from abroad and gets 7 or 8 grand a week, 9-10 grand a week. Lagerbielke was on 14 grand a week or something. I mean, it's madness. I'm 16 stone and I was 10 stone at 19. Good for you. I'll pay for his taxi out. A lot of people, I just want Taylor on a free, everyone knows it. Right, anyway, and more news this morning. That's my IKEA. IKEA. Oh, Jesus. It is a bit quiet in the news because of everything is obviously talking about the one and only Jota. They are talking about Jota and the fact that he is back in, but that one story about young Tobias, he's one that Celtic have been mentioned with before. But he's one for the future. He's not going to walk straight into the first team. And when we're trying to improve the squad, a 19-year-old, the Danish defender, has a bright future ahead of him. But they said that about Gustav Lagerbielke. They said that about Nobrovsky. And you know, we're bringing in these players that were... We spent 7 million on them. I'm kind of weary about Celtic and getting in prospect defenders. I would rather that we went out... I mean, wouldn't you rather that we went out and spent 10 to 15 million on a big guy that's been in the game? And I know it's the Celtic way to bring players in and try and sell them on, but I just think it's nuts. But anyway, it is what it is when it comes to the transfer window, right? How many votes have we had? 120 votes. Is it still going up, or are you savages? You are complete savages in the chat. I mean, asking me to do a poll if you want Greg Taylor to stay, and then 76% are voting him out. What is wrong with you lot? The guy's, he's not a Celt, really, is he? Jotter's here for 10 in a row. Tobias, we make a good number 6 pass. I don't. Greg deserves a wee rise, right? Let's get rid of that guy and get the Greg Taylor back. Man, you all hate. Will it be a good window? If, right, here's one for you. Since you like your polls, I will do another one. We'll finish this one. Start poll. Right, this is the question for the poll for you, right? This is a question because we've lost 4 players already. We've got a potential of losing another 3. We've brought 1 player in already. What if we bring in, all we bring in is another 2 loan players? Will it be a good window if all we bring in is another 2 loan players? Big ugly looking Mowbray type central defence, yes. We can't have puppy faced prison batch. Jesus. Forget this wee guy, we're desperate nearly a striker. Williman says wakey baz. Wakey for what? Wakey for what? Will it be a good window if we end up with 2 loan players after the players? Now I'm saying that. Yeah, it's definitely a slow news day. Big Rabs see after all the news that came out yesterday. It is a slow news day today, but these are players that we've already lost 4 players from the club. So squad wise, the squad is actually a bit weaker. When Brendan Rodgers has been talking about depth and strength of the squad, I think the squad is a bit weaker as it stands. We need to bring in, we'll bring in 2 more players. They won't be loan deals. Is 2 players enough now at this stage of the window? I mean, if Greg Taylor leaves, right, for instance, and we don't get in Kieran Tierney, I mean, I don't think Celtic would allow Greg Taylor to leave if we've not got a replacement, but we then have the possibility, oh no, it's not even a possibility, it's fact, because if Greg Taylor leaves at the summer, Alex Bailly leaves in the summer, we're then in the market this summer for 2 left backs again. Now we know that Kieran Tierney's coming back. Wakey, because the last poll was 76% for Greg Taylor. Right, okay, yeah, to stay. I've not even had a coffee yet. Give me a break. 76% want him to stay. Yeah, there we go. I missed it. Where is the poll? Oh yeah, so it is. 76% want Greg Taylor to stay. Yeah, that's it. I've got it now. See, 121 votes. I wasn't even paying attention. I've got too many screens open. But anyway, this one's a more interesting one. Will it be a good window if we end up with 2 loan players? Yes, says 41%. No says 59% so far. Oh, don't say that, Alan Weir. Don't say that at all. Yeah, slow morning. 76. Yeah, I know that, Big Dom. Calm down. Baz wants him to leave. I'm just going to go back to. I've got stuff to do today. I don't need this. 4% want him shot. That's not fair. Chilpo, I voted to stay like Greg. Get the orange juice and get on the coffee bags. I think you need it. Yes. And the problem is that orange juice comes off the tree that's right out there. So I get the coffee next. It'll be a great window if Taylor climbs out it, says Joe. Oh man. Right, anyway, Brøndby news. The price for Matthias keeps on going up. For a player that we could have got a couple of seasons ago for about 4.6 million, and Celtic put in an offer of 4.2, and it now transpires that the Daily Record, I think they were the one who pumped the price up to 13.5 million, but it looks like Celtic are holding off paying 13.5 million for the player. whilst looking at other alternatives. Now, why is it that Celtic are waiting once again? I mean, we know that, it has to be... Can it really be the fact that we're looking at a player that's still involved in European football? Is it one that's involved? There's a new update. Kyogo Furiashi. Dear Celtic fans, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your unconditional support since I arrived in Scotland in 2021. Every training session and every match I tried with all my efforts to help this great club. I hope that I help create amazing memories for you as our team enjoyed great success together. I will never forget championships. The Old Firm victories. What the fuck? Who wrote this for Kyogo? The Old Firm... Fuck. Oh, piss off. I'll never forget the... Playing at Celtic Park on Champions League nights. I wish Celtic only the best as I start a new chapter in my career. I've got 2.5 years at Rennes. From the bottom of my heart, thank you again for your support. This is the guy who walked out the door and said, yeah, I want to play in a more recognised league. And that's Kyogo Furiashi on Twitter. I tell you one thing, he changed all his Twitter and everything quick enough. The little fucker couldn't wait to get out the door. Couldn't wait to get out the door. Anyway, that's the post from Kyogo Furiashi that went live 37 minutes ago on Twitter. And whoever wrote that in English for him. You're now getting hundreds of comments saying, what the fuck are you saying Old Firm for, you little... Oh dear. God bless Kyogo, who wanted to go and play in a bigger league. He signs a 2.5 year contract to go into a relegation battle. Ciao, I see what Greg Taylor brings to the team. I didn't mean that. Kyogo's best goal was the lob against Hibs in the final. Yeah, it was. Anyway, will it be a good window if we end up with 2 loan players? I think we'll do our business after the Villa game. David, that's what I've been saying for weeks now. I have been saying that for weeks, that any business that we do, I thought we would have held off till after the Villa game so that we would have saw where we can, because you've got the draw as well. You do have the draw on Friday. You've got the draw at 11 o'clock Celtic Park time. So, yep. And other than that, there's not a lot of Celtic news going around this morning. So, I have been on for 27 minutes. I'm only staying on for half an hour. He's gone. Who gives a bye? Close the door. And Baz, just wish Kyogo the well, and onwards we go. Yeah. I think it's... we were moaning when the squad was too big. What do we want? John Allen, I think it's the fact that we let a lot of players go in the summer. We trimmed the squad right back in the summer. And we're now at a set. You have to think about what Brendan Rodgers said in the summer. He wanted 2 strikers in the summer. We get 1, Adam Ida. Everyone complains we pay over the rods for Adam Ida. We were planning on utilising Rocco Vata as a third choice striker. He left the club for nothing. Daniel Cummins is on the verge of leaving the club for nothing as well. He's not even getting a sniff around the first team. But anyway, we can talk about that later on this afternoon. I will be doing an update live this afternoon. Will Celtic, will it be a good window if we end up with 2 loan players? 59% say no, 41% say yes. 109 votes. And who got the 1% taken off them? Anyway, don't know much about history. Someone should have told Kyogo there was no Old Firm since 2012. Yep, this is very, 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 very true. Very, very true. Very true. That's very true. And on that note, check out the channel. I will be going live maybe about the same time as yesterday, because you never know. You never know. Now, there's not been any show of any new Celtic player entering the building and doing a medical. So on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans. There will be a live this afternoon. Keep a check out on the channel, and it may go live around about the same time as yesterday. Have a fantastic day wherever you are, all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. lit. Roll up to the party.